Women in the workforce, like full time, like grinding it out like a man, is a scam by our society. To keep the economy stronger, the country needs a lot of people to be working at their most to bring the GDP higher. Why is the US so strong right now? It's because our incomes are becoming like 50-50 situation. Go to work at 9 o'clock and grind it out and do a lot of coffee, and completely your cycles are like all over the place. You're just barely surviving. Like when you kind of take a back seat, there's a space that needs to be filled, and naturally the masculine is gonna try to fill that gap as well. So you're actually helping him increase his pay or whatever it is. Then on top of that, our economy is requiring to work like a man. Men are like the sun and women are like the moon. So sun and the moon, they provide different things to the world. At the end of the day, the most important role that we have as women is the role of a mother, a role as a wife. The woman of the home is the most important. And that role does not include cleaning, being the cleaner of the home, or being the cook of the home. So I suggest soft boss lady era to you. This video is kind of divided into 4 parts. I'll have timestamp for each part of the video, so you can skip to whichever you would like, but I recommend that you stay with me because I'm gonna be sharing on why women should have certain type of income. If I'm so slow for you, then just put me somewhere and then just listen, and then you can come back to your favorite part and then skip. I have been in all stages of life when it comes to like being in feminine. First is I've been a stay-at-home daughter. So I didn't have to lift a finger, and like everything was provided for me until the age of like 21, until I got married and my husband took care of me, which is my next stage, which is stay-at-home wife and then a stay-at-home mom. So I've been in all these like feminine stages in my life, and my favorite stage is a stay-at-home mom that makes money from home. Doing what she loves is another factor to this, because of course, like we can all make money by grinding hard, working from home, but there is a way to make money just like completely being in your femininity and choosing the kind of work that allows you to be creative, that respects you as a woman, that respects your energy as a mother. I have 2 daughters and I manage my time in a way. I get everything done when they're at school. Once they're back, I can focus on them. I can kind of be silly with them at home. And I believe like every mom or even a stay-at-home wife or a daughter should really still work and have their own income, because I've been in literally every stage and I still prefer having my own income, even when everything is provided for me, and even when like I literally can have everything I want. I believe in this society we are either put in a position we're contributing to the household, we're literally having to work to survive, or completely taken care of by a man and just being a homebody. And if that's what you prefer, that's fine. We all want something going for us besides the family. So I suggest soft boss lady era to you. We're getting into the part 2 where we discuss on how our society is treating women, how the income looks like for women in today's society. So basically these days in the US and all these, first world countries, our incomes are becoming like 50-50 situation. It's like we have to contribute to the household, otherwise we can't, afford to survive or something like this. And I believe, which is the key part, because you might not believe and that's okay. I believe that a woman should never be used as a breadwinner unless, of course, in emergency situations like, being a single mom or being the only woman in the house, to take care of the family. Then of course, I understand there are situations like that. Of course, as humans, we have to provide for the family. But if you are in a position, you have a male person in your family, then I believe that women in that situation should never be put in the breadwinner position or 50-50 position, because what it really does is it puts the woman in her masculine. And when we are naturally in our feminine, we provide the warmth and the unconditional love and just support, and that's when the men can really provide without any difficulty. Like when you kind of take a back seat, there's a space that needs to be filled, and naturally the masculine is gonna try to fill that gap as well. So you're actually helping him increase his pay or whatever it is, because you might say like, oh, it is the way to survive in this economy to be 50-50. And I agree with that. Of course, like if things are getting expensive, 2-income household is better than 1-income household. But by giving him that space to provide for the family, you're giving him that support and space so he can fill that with a little bit more effort. Making money is all like a mind's game, really. So if you let the man know, like, there's a space here to fill, they're naturally going to figure out a way to do this. In a lot of like religious books, they say, oh, when you're having a kid, like, don't even think about financials, just think about if you're emotionally ready or not. It's because the financial part is naturally going to come, because now like that you need to provide for that kid to be able to survive. So if you're in like a dating relationship and marriage and you're doing 50-50, then I'm just kidding. Don't run. But what you can do is just suggest. It's like, oh, how about we try to live on one income, on your income, and then, bring your costs down a little bit. When the woman is happy in a home, usually the man is also happy. Like, he's being taken care of by his naturally. We have the urge to make yummy food or like, keep the home clean, doing these little things. And this helps the masculine out in the family. So of course, like, if you don't work, like grind it out in this 9-to-5 world, you're going to be so nice to your family. And the woman is actually the foundation for generations to come. So I really believe that if you are in a privileged position where you can try and test it out by not spending like what you earn, or like, by bringing down your hours, then I totally recommend that. And if you want to still work from home, in the part 3 and 4, I'll be sharing with you on that. So please stick around. But this is my opinion. It's like, if you are in a very like boom, 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 go to work at 9 o'clock and grind it out and like, do a lot of coffee and completely your cycles are like all over the place. You're just barely surviving. What is life really? Like, we just completely forget like living this busy fake life, that we completely forget what it's really about. It's about really serving your family, serving your community, being nice to each other, like uplifting each other. Women in the workforce, like full time, like grinding it out like a man, is a scam by our society. To keep the economy stronger, the country needs a lot of people to be working at their most to bring the GDP higher. Why is the US so strong right now? It's because every single person is working and is always just thinking about making money. It's all about career. Family comes like, second. Even like sick days come rarely. Vacations are only 7 days per year. Okay, it's well and good for like a man to be going through this, but women are not only like a source of life, so we actually give birth to kids. We're also caregivers. So, a man cannot breastfeed a child. We are supposed to be doing that. And then on top of that, our economy is requiring to work like a man. So we have all these hormonal fluctuations. On top of all of this, we're providing, and we're like a caregiver, we're food and everything. And then on top of that, we are having to work to contribute to the economy. And in return, we barely get anything. Even like if you take maternity leave, what do you get? You get a demotion, not promotion. You're always like scared as a woman. So how about we just completely get out of the rat race and make our own little empire that benefits your little economy, which is your home, your family, your generations. It's about time that we wake up and we really see, like what's good for us and not what's good for the economy or what's good for the people, what's good for the next step in your ladder, because that ladder is going nowhere. That ladder is only going to the grave. If you work your way up, what are you going to get at the end? Like, you don't have good health, like you might have a lot of money like sitting in your bank, but money does not mean anything if you didn't really have enough memory with your family and really get to enjoy each moment. Earlier I said it might be okay for a man to work like that, but then women are made different. Why are women made different? It's because we have a hormonal cycle that we have every month. Men are like the sun. They have a daily cycle. They have energy boost in the morning, and then as the day goes, their energy goes down, and then they sleep, and then they wake up with the same energy 24/7, 365 days a year. And women are like the moon. So sun and the moon, they provide different things to the world. Whereas us women, we have a 28-day cycle. And even then there's so many different factors to include. Some people have 21-day cycles. Some people have like 32-day cycles. So each woman is different because of her hormonal cycle. And in the beginning of like 2 weeks of the cycle, like, we're still like feeling good. But as the third third and fourth week comes around, like we're feeling so low that like we basically force ourselves to do the things that a man can do without any like, push, because he has the same energy every day. This is another scam by our society. It's like all these studies are coming like, oh, co-sleeping, it's dangerous. Sure, it's dangerous, and there's a way to do it. Like you get the safe basket for the kid to stay with the mom. Of course, it's good for the brain development of the kid to stay with the mother and father at a young age. Like co-sleeping is the most healthy thing parents can do. I understand we want to have our own little privacy, but it's amazing for the development. All these studies are coming out saying, oh, like we should sleep train our kids to have better sleep and stuff. And I have done that and it's worked amazingly, but we shouldn't really emphasize on that. If your kid is wanting time with you at night, sleep together, then why was it made okay? Why? Because the economy, the society wants you to work. So this is why they're training you to have emotional detachment. They're saying it's okay for your kid to sleep in the separate bed and stuff. But you and I both know that when we slept with our parents at night, like as kids, it felt amazing. And sometimes it still feels amazing to hug your mom and stuff, like because we are like humans that require love, community, and all of this like warm things. So all of these little scams that we are fed by society, this is actually a way for us women to get to work like a man when we're not even made for that. Sending your kids to daycare and then you grinding 9 to 5 to build someone else's dream and then come home and there's no energy left for you to give to the family because the energy has been already depleted at 9 to 5. And even the 9 to 5, it's always running in your mind even after you come back home. Pushing yourself to show up at your office or show up in a meeting when PMS is killing you inside, when your thoughts are not even healthy right now, when you become a different person, you start thinking differently, you're like sad, emotional, angry in your PMS time, and we're still forced to like show up to meetings like nothing is happening. All of these are lies that we are fed by society. Part 3, then why do you need to make money as a woman then still, right? I'm saying all of this because in this world right now, the currency to get things done is money. Here's my 4 reasons on why a woman should have her own little income going for her. So number 1 is even if you are making a small amount of money, like a few $100s, a few $1,000s, you can take care of yourself. Your confidence gonna skyrocket. You don't feel clingy because if someone's not treating you right, you can easily, just take care of yourself. Number 2 is splurging and just buying anything for the sake of it without any guilt. And I literally, like my husband doesn't have any spending limit for me. Like I can literally go out and spend whatever I want. Buying back your time by hiring, cleaner, maybe a cook if you want to focus on something that makes you feel good. It's totally acceptable for you to hire a cleaner or a cook if that gives you time to focus on your work, that brings you joy. Because at the end of the day, the most important role that we have as women is the role of a mother, a role as a wife. The woman of the home is the most important. And that role does not include cleaning, being the cleaner of the home or being the cook of the home. The main thing is the love that comes from the mother, the wife. That's the most important thing. Other things you can outsource to focus on your dream. So number 3 is security. Let's just say that you're in a position where you're being provided for. You don't have to worry about a single thing. Even then you're at a risk. God forbid something happens to your partner. And then you might say, oh yeah, he has insurance, or we have insurance. If you don't have the financial literacy of how you manage your money or how to even make money, like even that insurance is not going to get you anywhere. You get divorced or you have to separate for some reason. Then all of that, if you're completely in your 100% feminine and then you're not even, you're relying completely, you don't know how to even even fill a gas tank or pay bills, then how are you going to be able to do that in case, God forbid, that you are in this position? We all want to, grow old together, and that will happen, but you never know about life. And for that, it's it's really important for you to have that skill of, you know, being able to earn even a few $100s, because that few $100s can turn into a few $1,000s or a few $100,000 once you put more effort if needed. So number 4 is mental health. Being idle is the solution to depression. So this is amazing for your mental health. It's like you just get a few hours out of the day, out of the week to work on something that brings you something as well. And you know, that gives you ikigai, and ikigai is basically a reason to live, and that affects your family and overall sense of being. Part 4, now that we've talked about, you know, everything, like how can we earn, Faria? Like, okay, stop with the blabbering and tell me what kind of earning can you do that would keep you in your femininity. I have 3 things. Number 1 is anything that does not suck the energy out of you. So anything when you're doing, feeling like you're flowing, you're feeling like things are happening naturally, you don't have to try or force, that means that that work is made for you. That's you and your feminine. So number 2, working with a team that respects your boundary as a woman, which comes in form of like being a mom, being a wife, and all of these things, you know, having PMS, low energy, or whatever it is. Having a team that really respects you for being a woman, you can literally find a company that makes you feel good. Go ahead and make that company yourself, because you know, everyone is allowed to make their own little business, and you don't need a lot of money to really survive in this world. All you need is a little bit. So please, I urge you to choose the people that you work with wisely. Number 3 is doing creative work, because being in your creative energy is basically femininity, right? So do like YouTube. If you have something to say that you're really passionate about, you can talk about it, you know, forever, then that is something that you can share with people, you know, learning from each mistake. It's not easy to start a YouTube channel and stick with it unless you have passion behind it, and unless you have like discipline and all these things, you know, doing little things. If you have a business already, maybe promote it on YouTube. That's just one of the things, right? If you're good at makeup, you can start a makeup business, like I did in the US. You know, what is it that you're made for? Use your strength and market it to companies that are open to remote work. And there would be a company that would be willing to work with you for your strengths. So please go out there, really figure out what you're made for, what you're passionate about, what's your strength, and then write that down, and then reach out to companies, or, you know, try to build your own little company, and then read books, watch videos. I watched this video recently and I was like blown away, because you see like how he's falling and then going back and falling and going back, and life is just about this, really. If you reach the top, you know, top of that ladder, you're not gonna feel amazing all of a sudden. The beauty is in falling and then getting back up, falling and getting back up. I understand, I've been in that position where like I'm reading all these books, I'm watching all these, which was like a year and a half ago, I was in that position. But then I realized that now I've consumed enough, I need to take action now. So, and I took action and it worked. You know, it worked, and I've shared all of that story in my next video that you'll enjoy. I basically share on how like being delusional can get you places and can get you a role like CMO in a multi-million-dollar logistics company. So like things will really open for you once you just start taking actions and believe in yourself. So if you want to learn more about that and how I got my position, then watch this next. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye. I guess I was a shoulder to cry on. We're getting started now, like taking too long. We gotta get to work.